It's Kerry from Mobilates, and we're here for half an hour, but you know the time always goes extra fast. It feels a little faster than that. But half an hour of gentle exercise, and we can be standing. I'm going to be standing for the first half, but you can also be seated. So I've got my chair here to demonstrate some seated moves. And one thing you can do, I always mention this, but I know not everyone's, you don't always take it in at the beginning, or you think halfway through, I'm not sure how I'm going to lie down. If you know that lying down, and we will do a bit of lying down today, is a problem for you, do this from your bed. So sit on your bed as if this was your bed, and you can do your moves, the sort of things that we're going to do, this sort of thing. And then when it's time to lie down, your surface is with you. So just a suggestion for you, if you really struggle, especially with getting down to the floor. Hello, who've we got there? Hello, Irene, lovely to see you. Right, shall we get started? So taking your feet a little wider, or just have another look. Hello, Jackie. Oh, goodness, a fall. Oh, that's not good, Jackie. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, you can always take it more gently if you are extra sore. Might want to take it seated some of the time, all of the time, to take it nice and gently, but we have to just keep getting up and getting going, don't we? So good to see you. Right, take your feet wider, sitting, standing, however you prefer to start. We're going to breathe in through our nose. Arms just can be out here by your sides. Hi, Jean, lovely to have you. Oh, thanks, Jackie. Take that breath in. Think of it travelling a little bit deeper downwards. I'm going to keep looking, say hello. Hello, Barbara. Oh, I feel like we've got a whole gang here. Lovely to have you. As you breathe that little bit further down, it doesn't even need to be deep. Let your belly swell a little, just like you're just starting to blow up a balloon. And then as you breathe out, let it just collapse inwards a little. Hiya, Jade. Oh, Jade, that's all right. If you're on and you don't feel well, just take it easy. Have a watch, have a cup of tea or a drink and sit and watch. You might just join in with a little bit. Lovely to have you here. Breathing in again, let this belly swell. Breathing out, let it deflate. You might close your eyes if it feels safe for you to do so, or just keep looking at the screen, or letting the eyes just go a little bit hazy. And then we're going to open our eyes wide, let all the light in. Bring our legs closer together. So now my feet, try to wear contrast socks so you can see they're in parallel, and there is room for a paperback book to go between my feet. That's about the right sort of width for our hip bones here, rather than thinking of our hips when we say stand hip width. So many people go like this because they're thinking of their hips on this bit here, just going into check. Right, so grow a little taller. Soften your knees if you're standing. And we're going into pelvic tilts now. My favourite place at the moment for these, to put my hands, is on my thighs. And I'm just lengthening here. Or if you imagine you've got a bunny tail, it's going down to the floor. And then letting my back return to where it was. And what I'm trying not to do is let my legs go forwards, or squeezing my bum forwards, clenching, all that stuff. Trying to keep it really soft. And that movement, if you look at this contrast between my top here and my leggings here, it's very small, and it's just the lumbar spine. Oh, that feels good. I've had a tight back. So for me at the moment, lengthening, it feels super good. And the reverse, the arching, is a little bit tight. And just keep that going. One more. And then give everything a gentle shake, ripple, wiggle. Going for each arm, each leg. And then we're going to grow tall again. We're going to pull our head backwards. You can even give your head a little tap behind. So it's like I'm taking that part of my head towards that wall. Or like I've just seen someone that I'm happy to see. It's like, oh, I haven't seen you in ages. And then I'm going to turn to one side. Come back to the center, small nod up and down, and then turn to the other side. Back to the center, still feeling like, oh, I've just seen somebody. I've got that slight surprised feeling. And just keep repeating that. Nod and turn and nod and turn. One more time. Come back to the center and roll your shoulders. I'm just checking in on all these conversations here. That's it. And every now and again, you might roll those shoulders forwards. You could be working one shoulder. You could be working both shoulders. Oh, Jade, that's such a good idea. Jade's just said in the conversations that she's doing it against her bedroom door. And you get some lovely feedback there and some support. So if you're feeling a bit wobbly, leaning back against your door, really nice for this. Stay there, Jade, because it's going to really work for some of the next few moves that we do. I'd like you to push your hands. See my hands? My palms are coming towards you like a stop sign. I'm going to show you from the side. Push forwards and let your back pull back. And so if you're doing this against a wall or a door, you'll feel that part between your shoulder blades and your shoulders pulling back against it. Now let the arms go down by your sides, elbows grazing at the side of your waist, palms face each other. Slide back. We're going to take it forwards, pushing forwards. Pull your back backwards a little. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take those arms in this L shape down by your sides. Pull the points of your elbows back. Now let your hands go downwards. Fingers pointing down to the floor and slightly back. And then take those little fingers further back to the wall if they'll go a bit further back. One more time. Push forwards. Breathe in. Feel your back ribs going backwards. Breathe out. These arms come in an L shape by our sides. I always think of a train with this. Let your elbows just brush your sides at the waist. And now let your fingers go downwards. And then slightly behind you, little fingers lead the way. Should feel at the front like this area is opening up a little. You don't need to push forwards even more. Just take the arms backwards and then let them swing. Well done. It's a nice opening for the chest. Oh, I hope it was a nice one for you. Right, let's stay where we are. If you're leaning against that door or wall, stay there. We're going to do a side bend. Side bend's so good to do, leaning against something. You can lean against the back of your chair as well. Press both feet down. Imagine they're each on a scale and you want each side to balance exactly the same. This is the only time I think about scales. I'm not a fan of weighing ourselves. So scales under our feet, pressing down equally. Keep that pressure. Let the hands slide down one side like you're trying to dip your finger downwards to the floor and then come up tall. Other side, breath in. Breath out. Take those fingers, just dip downwards. Breathe in, come up. If you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, take this arm out to the side as you do your side bend. It'll just stop you bending a long way. And then to the other side. Keep those feet equally down. Even if you haven't got osteoporosis or osteopenia, this is a nice way of doing a side bend. We're trying to open this bit up. So it's rather this bit opening rather than how far. We're not trying to lean over. Keeping those feet equally down. And then one more this side. Coming back to the center. Now you may stay against the wall. You might want to put your hands just behind as you raise your heels up and down. If you're standing, you might want them sort of reaching outwards. If you're seated, you might like your hands somewhere on your chest. And you might even like your legs together if you're seated. Press them against each other. If you're standing, it all gets a bit wobbly doing that, but you can do it if you like. And then we're just going to march on the spot. So my feet are staying down, just the heels are coming up, but you could lift your feet up. We're just going to go a little bit faster. And then slow, 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 slow. Now we're going to send our hips backwards if we're standing and our arms forwards. If there's a wall behind you, stand a little bit away from it and just send your bum back to just touch the wall. Think about closing a drawer. It's that sort of imagination we want to stimulate. If you're seated, just take yourself gently forwards and backwards, pushing down into your legs, but not super hard. Keep your back straight. Perfect. Now we're going to make this a little bigger. So you're coming further forwards, maybe further back. Go in a comfortable range for you. If there's a bit that feels uncomfortable, just modify it. We're going to start going further forwards with our arms, sending our bum further back. So now the legs start to bend. Could be this much. Could be this much. Could be, oh goodness, going right down. That much. Two or three more of these. And on the last one, we're going to hold it. So you might have your hands on your chest if you're seated. You might have your hands forward. Everybody take your hands to your thighs. Your back, I'd like it straight rather than arch. I don't want that arch. Oh, hurts that at the moment for me. Straight back. We're going to take one hand out. How about going for your, not the hand you choose, not the dominant hand, the other. So this is my left. And it's as if you are cleaning a table and you're rotating at the waist, just in this little turn. Doesn't need to be a massive range of movement. Just side to side. And then place that hand back, take the other hand out. Same on the other side. Keep those feet just where they are. Bring them back and then push downwards and send your head up. Well done. Now we're going to do just a small dangle. So just a really gentle dangle, slight rounding here, and just let your arms dangle. Giving them a little bit of a rest. That's it. And then we're going to bring our arms up, making this cactus sort of shape or goalpost. If this is too strong up here, make more of a W. You can see that W shape there. Make that shape instead. We're trying to get our hands sort of in line with our ears, but you might find it looks more like this. If that's how it's going, that's how it's going. It doesn't matter. So standing there in your cactus type shape or your W, let's bring the palms and the wrists and the elbows towards each other. And opening out now. They may not close. You might find your hands do this and your elbows are far apart. You might find that you can get a little closer. Just go with what you've got. I can see that my arms are dropping as I'm doing this. So I'm going to try and bring them up. Oh, that's why they were dropping. It's hard. We can also bring them towards each other, touching or not, and now take them up and down. Now, as I go down, my elbows want to go out. Oh, that's okay. I'm trying to keep them as close as I can. And I realise that chests get in the way as well. So just do your best. Oh, and then let those arms swing again. You might want a little dangle of the arms. I'm doing that with pretty straight back. You could do it when you bow down, but if you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, you can keep your back straight and just send your bum back a little and let your arms dangle. And then we're going to do sort of all fours moves, but I know that there's going to be a lot of people who really don't want to get into all fours on your hands and knees. So I'm going to show you some different positions that we can do this in. So it might be if you've got something like my chest of drawers, so a table or something that's really sturdy, this is not going to move when I push it. And if it did, it's going to move into the wall. It's already against the wall. So you could have your hands here, and this is definitely more comfortable on the wrist because the angle here is not as sharp as being down on the floor. So you might do an all fours position like that. You could also use a chair, a as long as it's against something and it can't push along the floor. So this is against that chest of drawers. This is a little bit higher up. I could stand closer, further away. It's going to work that way as well. Or you could take yourself down to the floor and be in this position. If you're in this position, get as comfortable as you can. You might want a cushion under your knees. You might even roll a bit of your mat up so that it's giving you a slightly raised surface underneath your hands. So if you're down like this, press your shins into the floor, push your palms into the floor so you're pushing away. Keep your back straight and watch that your head doesn't drop. Keep it up. And we're going to go into cat-cow. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like, and then I'm going to talk more about it in a standing position. So I'm going to come up to this chair and do it from here. So my arms are straight, legs are straightish, so you don't need to be super straight. Now I'm going to let my bum sort of tuck under, a bit like I'm lowering a tail down, and my shoulders puff up like a scared cat. Take a breath in. And then as I breathe out, almost like I'm coming between my arms and my head, I start to stick my bum out, basically. So if someone was looking through my window as I'm on the first floor, they probably can't see. My back's now arched a little bit. Belly is going downwards, it's sort of flopping down. Breath in. As you breathe out, let your back puff up, let your head bow down. Push away from your chair or your floor. Push away from the floor with your feet or your shins if you're on the floor. And then we're going to let everything sink down, the bum stick out, the head come up. We're going to look a little bit ahead. Another breath in. Breathing out. Scaredy cat, last one. Breathing in. Sticking our bottoms out. What lovely bottoms they are. And now we're just going to relax it a little bit. So I'm just going to give it a little wiggle. I'm straightening my back. I'm going to just bring my head up a little bit. Now what I'd like to do, think about a dog with a tail here. So I've got my tail or my imaginary tail. Now I'd like you to turn around to look at your tail, and you're trying to bring your hips round to show yourself the tail. And then I'm going to go the other way and look at the tail that way. So just a little wiggle from side to side. Doesn't need to be big. Now, you might not see much of your bum. I can just about see sort of this bit over my shoulder and a bit of my leg. If I was doing this down on the floor, it looks like this. And we'll do one or two more. And then you're done. That's your alternatives for all fours. We're going to bring ourselves down to the mat. So I'm going to move the chair out of the way. Just adjust my camera slightly. And bring my planner down to the floor. Let's take this one downwards. There we go. Let's bring that chair back. You might want a cushion for the floor. Jade, you're on your bed and you've had lots to drink as well. That sounds like a good idea. I find a coffee often helps me. Coffee with painkillers or coffee with something to eat as well. Right, let's do something. That's right, restful, lying down. So get yourself comfy. Give yourself time. You know there's no hurry. You might want to rest your head on something. Your eyes, when you lie back, should be looking up towards the ceiling. You don't want so many pillows under your head that you're looking that way between your knees. And you don't want such a gap that you're looking back towards the wall. So something under your head. Some people they might need, I have quite a flat pillow. Some people need something quite stacked under their head. Some people just like a little folded towel is enough. And when you're there, let everything have a little wriggle and a settle. Arms somewhere comfortable. Oh. And we'll just roll our heads to start. Let your breath do anything it wants to do, just breathing when you feel like it. Just let your head roll. Come back to the center, place your hands somewhere on your ribs. I want you to feel the side ribs, so I'm sort of folding my fingers in so I can feel. Now I want you to breathe out this way, breathe in this way so it expands. Your ribs go this way, outwards and into the mat behind you. Breath in through your nose. Breathing out, let your ribs come inwards. Breathe in, send them outwards. Close your eyes if you want to. Breathe out. Let them travel in. Oh, it's making my belly gurgle. Breathe in, send them out. Breathe out, let them go inwards. Take your hands to your low belly, just rest them there. Breathe in again, same place, send those ribs out. Breathe out from your pubic bone, tilt it towards your nose. Really gently. As you do that, your lower back either lowers down or it might press down into your mat, depends on the shape of your low back. And you might feel your bum just lifting slightly. As you breathe in, let it sink down. Breathing out, just let your bum lift up gently. Pubic bone comes towards your nose. Breathing out, let it settle back down again. One more, breathing in. And as you breathe out, tilting your hip bones this way, pubic bone this way. Keep your bottom nice and soft. And then let yourself relax. Arms down by your sides. Slide a leg away. Let the foot fall outwards. So it's going out to the side. And then toes go up, ceiling-ish direction. And slide it back. Other leg, slide it forwards. Let that foot roll and flop out to the side. And then bring it back so your toes are back in line with your body. And slide it back. One more each side. Sliding forwards. See my foot's flopped out towards you. And then it comes back in line. Bringing it back. Other side, nothing's happening here, just holding everything in place. I am breathing from time to time. No particular breath pattern. And then let the legs just have a gentle little sway. Perfect. Right, they're resting again. There's a little gap between them, so if I put them together, take my heels out and my toes forward and my knees apart. Just a small gap between my knees, small gap between my feet. Now this leg is going to open out towards you. I'm going to place my hands on my hip bones. I don't want anything to tip one way or the other. So it's like going to keep it like a very steady ship. Breath in. As you breathe out, let this leg go out to the side. So you're rolling onto the side of your foot. Might be this much, might be a bit more. I don't want this leg to follow it. This is staying still. And I'd like these hip bones to stay exactly where they are. So that's about as far as I can go. And then I'm going to close it up, keep everything steady. Same side. Breath in. Breathing out. Let that leg open up. Keep this other leg still. If it's wobbling, stick a hand just on it. Just touch it. You haven't even got to hold it. Bring it back in. Breath in. Breathing out, last one on this side. Take your time. And then bring it back. Take your arms out to the side. Let your legs have a little sway. You're going to do the same on the other side. So, fingers on your hip bones. Breath in. Those ribs can go out to the sides if you like. You can do that sort of breath. Now it's this leg, it's going to open out towards the sofa. This leg, I'm trying to keep it as still as I can. So it's just opening out and running to the side of my foot. This is the point where I feel that that's going to happen. I don't want that to happen, so I'm stopping there. Now I'm going to bring it back in. Take a breath in to prepare. Breathe out, let that leg open outwards. When you've got to the furthest point, breathe in and bring that leg back in. Take your time. Breath in. Breath out. Opening outwards. Hold it. And then get ready to breathe in and bring that leg back in. Take your arms out to the side. Let your legs have a little sway from side to side. Just something restful, just calming the body after that tricky movement. Now something for the arms. Take them down by your sides. We're going to do the splits with our arms, so one's forwards, one's back. And then we're going to take them like we're going round a clock or a circle. Now the arms do the splits again. And they start to draw that circle. One arm's coming down to your hips, the other's going to the side of your head. Let them do the splits. Oh, backstroke. Draw the outside of the circle. Now, if this is getting confusing, don't worry. It's one of those moves that always confuses people. It's partly why I put it in. It's good for the brain as well as the body. And if your arms are not sort of reaching the floor and you're doing it more like this, they're sort of hovering in the air, that's fine too. That works too. Last one like this, then we're going to change it up. So keep your arms in that split position. Then we're going to split again. And split again, I think, yes. Now the arm that was going the other way is going down and this arm is coming up. I don't know how else to explain it. And they're doing the splits or the backstroke again. And they're going out around the sides, a bit like they're going around the edge of a clock. And then they're doing the splits. Remember, your arms could be hovering and just keep your shoulders downwards, or they might completely go to the splits and touch the floor, or a bit of a mixture. Last one like this. And then bring them downwards. Take your knees inwards. You could grab the back of your thigh or the front of your knee or your shin, but bring your legs inwards as wide as is comfortable. And you could go for a little roll. You can come so far in that your bum comes off the floor, or you can keep your bum down. And you can roll as far to the side as you dare. I don't want you to fall off a bed, by the way, if you're on the edge of a bed. And you might even like your hands on the back of your thighs and your legs just have a little stretch. Or a little kick. And then place your hands gently on your knees and your feet touching. So your toes are just touching. And then we're going to steer in circles. And make these circles as big as you can. And just breathe whenever you fancy it. Just keep that breath going. Getting a little lower back massage as we do this. And then pause. Now taking it the other way. That's always the tricky bit, changing direction. All the time your toes are staying towards each other like a little hinge. We're going to go for one more of these. And then take your feet down. See, my arm's gone this way because I'm going to roll on that side and push myself up. And come to a seated position. So I'm going to go for crossed legs. Give your shoulders a roll. And then we're going to go back to that head turn, that little nod, head turn, pulling our head back a little so we've got a long neck, little nod, head turn, and then I'm going to go for a neck roll, just letting it roll from one side to the other. Come back to the center, final shoulder roll, take your palms out to the side, scoop up the air, breathe in, look up towards your hands or ahead towards your hands, wherever they are, bring them into your chest. Give yourselves a clap. I've got to remind you as well that on Monday, Virtual Village Hall is celebrating its 4th birthday. They're doing some special stuff. I think 10 o'clock in the morning is when stuff is kicking off. I can't be there at 10 because I'm teaching somewhere, but I've sent a message. But do check in with all the things that are going on, all the way they're celebrating. Right, I'm going to have a little read through and check through. I can see lots of stuff to read. Lovely to have so many of you comment. I'll see you again next week. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.